Hello everyone, welcome to Sarah Psych, and I wasn't originally going to be able to record a video this week, but I just found out I have the house to myself for about an hour, so I'm going to try and squeeze this whole video into this small recording time. The topic I want to cover today is introverted thinking and introverted feeling, both of the introverted judging functions, and how they relate to the idea of authenticity. When we discuss the idea of authenticity related to cognitive functions, we usually think of introverted feeling, but I want to talk today about how introverted thinking can also be associated with authenticity and identity. Let's get into it. So when we talk about introverted feeling, we often think about the idea that this is the function that's going to be the most concerned with kind of presenting the authentic self. This is who I am, this is what I value, this is what I believe in, and this is true to me. And this is true. Usually when you're talking about introverted feeling, you're going to find that people who have very high introverted feeling are very concerned with authentically expressing themselves and making sure that they're going to be the best representation of themselves that they can be. And this is why I referred to this function as an identity function. But I actually refer to both of the introverted judging functions as identity functions because I think they essentially play the same part in the psyche, just in a different way. Types who have introverted thinking, and specifically types who are higher in introverted thinking, are going to have that same value, desire, and need for authenticity, but it's going to apply in the realm of logic and how they approach things intellectually. So introverted feeling types are notorious for making sure that their authentic self is represented in terms of their identity and who they are as an individual. Introverted thinking types are going to have that same pushback that introverted feeling types get if they feel like they're misrepresented in the realm of logic or ideas or thoughts. If you go up to an ISTP or an INTP, for example, and you say, I think this thing works like this, or I think this thing is like this, and they disagree with you, they're going to be the first to stand up and say, no, I don't think it works like that because this is how I understand it. And for them, it's very important to make sure that the thoughts that they're interacting with are accurate representations of their introverted thinking logical framework for that thing. The primary difference is that the introverted thinking type is going to more so associate their own identity with the logic and thoughts that they have. The information that they're interacting with is going to be kind of correlated with them as an individual in their mind, just how an introverted feeling type is going to correlate their own kind of feelings and emotions and personal identity outside of the realm of logic and ideas with things that are interesting to them. If you look at extroverted thinking, the opposite of introverted thinking, you'll see that extroverted thinking types don't view things in this way. They don't associate themselves very much with the ideas that they're using, and instead view the ideas and logic that they interact with as more so tools or things that can be used to achieve some sort of purpose. And therefore, they don't relate to them one-on-one, and they're very willing to say, well, this thing didn't work for me, or I don't think it works very well in my personal preference, so I'm going to kind of ditch it and try something new. There's not that same personal attachment to the ideas or things that they're working with. The same can be said with extroverted feeling and introverted feeling. The extroverted feeling types are much more willing to kind of adapt to the social setting when it comes to interacting with other people. Or you might find that both of these can be enforcing as well, where instead of adapting, they're going to attempt to enforce their own opinions onto others. But the idea at its root is that neither of these extroverted functions are going to be identifying with the thing that they are working alongside. They're more so, if they're attempting to enforce it, they're doing it for some sort of reason. This is the best because, and you should use it because. And it's not because they personally identify with it or think it's particularly relatable to them as an individual. You can see how introverted thinking can be associated with the idea of identity and kind of intellectual authenticity when you see the fact that a lot of ISTPs and INTPs, for example, associate their intelligence as being a core component of their personality. So if you ask them to list off certain aspects of their personality that they think reflect them and who they are as an individual, intelligence is likely to be higher up on that list than many of the other types. And it's not just because introverted thinking types are inherently smarter by any means, it's because they value the idea of being smart as a core component of their personality. And you can even see this in the fact that a lot of INTPs, specifically because they're intuitive more so than the sensing types, are very prone to joining high IQ societies and these other types of organizations where people get together and are exclusively found because of their intelligence, or it's exclusive to people who have some sort of level of intelligence, where you find that that's not as common with the introverted feeling or extroverted thinking types, who may join these things for temporary purposes, but they're not going to identify themselves with that. And unfortunately, with introverted thinking dominant types, you can find that this is almost a problem because of their already naturally repressed extroverted feeling, which can cause issues in socialization when they start to collectively associate themselves with people who only value the things that they value in terms of intellect or personality. The same can be said, though, of introverted feeling dominant types. This isn't exclusive to the TI dominant types. Other introverted feeling dominant types like INFPs and ISFPs are very notorious for becoming kind of echo chambers of morals and interests, where they're unwilling to listen to other people because they are around a lot of other people who share exceptionally strong identity values with them. All right, everybody, I hope this gave you some insight into how introverted thinking can also be seen as an identity function. And I also think it's really important to just remember the idea that introverted thinking types can be just as concerned with the idea of authenticity as well. It's just where in their life and around what values is that identity and authenticity focused. The introverted feeling types are going to have much more of that feeling-focused authenticity, which may come off closer to what we view as being authentic as a society or culture, but the introverted thinking types are just as authentic when it comes to their ideas or the things that they believe are logically true. If you're an introverted thinking type, let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think of yourself as authentic? What are some aspects or behaviors of yourself that you think reflect this idea that we talked about in this video today? Other than that, I would like to remind everybody that I do have personality typing sessions available at my website, sarahpsych.com, if you're interested in working with me to find out what your personality type is and what that means for you. This has been Sarah from Sarah Psych. Have a good one.